What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dirty Hands Mafia. Today, we're building a crow feeder. I've heard if you start feeding crows, they'll start recognizing you and maybe even become your friends. I don't know if that's true or not, so let's find out. Today, we're starting with more scrap wood I had laying around. Yet another 4x4 I found laying in my backyard, and some 2x4s I got from the store. I don't know, I guess it's true what they say, 4x4s really do grow on trees. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get the fun stuff started. I've already measured this out to 5 foot. I've already got my line drawn. I've already got it up on my miter saw. Let's get to cutting. Alrighty, now that that's out of the way, I've decided I want this to be movable. I don't want it to be a permanent fixture just yet, at least until I figure out where the crows want it. So for that, I'm going to take my other half of that 4x4, throw it back up on the miter saw. I'm going to cut me some 1 foot long legs to put up under the base of it and see if we can't make something sturdy. So I've heard that you can feed crows a number of different things. The main two I'm going to try, unsalted peanuts and cat food, just to see which one they prefer. So while I get this ready, I'm going to do 12 inches. I'm going to play it smart, so I really don't have to take that much into account for blade width. Measure 12 inches off one end. 12 inches off the other. So I've got those marked out. I've got those first two marks ready to go. Gonna have to swap because that Sharpie is trash. Luckily, I have another Sharpie here. Let's hope brown shows up on wood. So my first 12-inch cut is gonna come from right about here. Gonna line up just a hair more. Sometimes you can hit these things on the first shot. Sometimes it takes a minute. Let's flip it around to this side. And yes, before anybody says anything, I am fully aware that I do not have a guard on my blade, and I just pinched my finger. But when it's free, it's free. So try me on another day. Another 12-inch. And yet another 12-inch. Put my tape measure back where it goes for now. Always put your tools back up. That's something I was taught as a kid, and I teach to mine. Always put it back up when you're done with it. Take your straight edge or square or whatever, mark your line. The best part about doing projects like this is you don't have to have expensive tools. Because I mean, heck, this was on clearance for 85 cents. This was free. I usually don't buy anything unless it's on clearance. So let's get these next two cuts knocked out, shall we? They say close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, but it counts in my garage too. Alrighty, I want this platform to be 18 inches by 18 inches. So what I'm going to do, mark this board out with two 18-inch marks. And then, smart math, take your second one, for it to be as square as possible, I'll mark mine to 15 inches. Alrighty, now that's said and done, let's move back to the miter saw. Line this up. Now if this doesn't work, and this does not attract crows, I'm setting it on fire. Alrighty, now that those cuts are made and I have my two 15s, my two 18s, we're going to put these out of the way for right now. Put my scrap wood down. And now we're going to get my sheet of plywood. Since we have an 18 by 18 base, I'm going to measure it this way, 18 inches. We're going to get smart and do two marks at 18 inches. Take our fancy yardstick. And make that. All right, so I've made my marks where I want them at. So now I need a straight edge to guide my saw where I need it to go. So let's figure that out. I can take this let's see if this works. Let's see how smart we can be with this today. Because I'd rather measure once, cut once. Let's close this up. I don't remember what the last thing I used this for was. There's one. Let's see where that lands us. Pretty damn close. What about this one? Pretty close. So let's see if I can't clamp this into place. And maybe one of these days we'll build an appropriate cutting table so I don't have to do this. Let's see how good I get on my mark. Really helps if you plug these things in beforehand. All right, let's go ahead and get to work on making this first cut. Maybe I should put something heavy on the back of this. All right, now that's done. Let's flip it for the next one and see if we can't make it just a little bit better. I wandered off that line just a hair. Since I have this clamp here and I said I was going to use it, let's use it, shall we? That shouldn't go anywhere. Get this back out. This back up. And lock back in place. And there you have it, my close enough 18 by 18 square. Get this put back up where it goes. Put my pliers back up. And let's get on to the next part. Now that I've got those cuts made, it's time to start bringing everything together. It's time to start laying out the base before we build the top. That way we can make this kind of look interesting, like an actual bird shelter or bird feeder. Because let's face it, I don't need Eric Draven showing up telling me he doesn't approve of the crow feeder. So the way I like to do these things, I'm gonna get my sides laid out. That one goes there. This one goes here. And this one, we wiggle in there. The only screws I have laying around currently are deck screws, which this is going to go outside, so it kind of makes sense. Let's see if these will be long enough. So a bunch of 2-inch deck screws. I'm going to do 2 per corner. If I can ever get these last 2 of my fingers. And we're going to call that enough. Before I get started on doing that though, there's my bit. Since I'm drilling into the end grain of a piece of wood, I'm going to pilot hole all four corners. That way, I don't split the wood. Because I'm not going to go back to the hardware store till next weekend and get another 2x4. I'll do this side now. And that should be all the holes I need to drill for right now. Let's get these screws running. So the first one's going to zip right on in there. I'm going to go ahead and get the tops of them where I want them to be. Before I do the bottoms. All four corners. You don't have to do it this way. It's just easy for me to be able to do. Let's flip this over. That moves a lot. And repeat the step again. And then we'll check it for square. And according to my cheapo square, it's square. Now let's secure the base. That's on there. Let's do 2 screws on each side. That was kind of hot. Let's get this ready and run our screws in so we have one secured base. And there you have it. So I have made an executive decision to make the roof 15 inches from the base of the platform to the top of the roof. I went ahead and cut 2 test pieces out. Might have been a little sketchy, but it got done. So now let's go over to the miter saw and finish these cuts up. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and measure out another 15 inches. Get the straight edge out. Even though this saw has a laser, still gonna straight edge it to get it right about where I want it. Full coverage. Put that out of my way. Now this next cut, I'm going to do it again off camera. So bear with me. All right, so now that I've got that piece cut up, one in each corner, let's put the angled part into the corner and the rounded part of the 2x4 out of the corner, kind of make them match a little bit. Because I want my customer, wife, whatever you call her, to be happy. So at the end of the day, I'll be honest. This is her idea, not mine. All right, y'all are going to have to bear with me. I'm going to try and hurry up and finish this video up today because it is getting dark. It is a Sunday night, and I don't want to make my neighbors mad. So, let's see what I can do to finish this out. Get my handy dandy drill bit out. Along that side, I'll go on the top for this one. Let's see how that holds it up. That held in there pretty nice. So let's do it again. On that side. Again. On that side. And we'll just repeat the process 2 more times. Alrighty, I have all 4 of my roof posts in place. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror this side and this side with 2 18-inch cuts. Or I could do 2, let's see what it is from top to top. Or I could do 2 15-inch cuts. I might do 18. just to give it an overhang, at least on the front. Make it overhang on the side. It's going to be, you'll see what I'm done. You'll see what I have brewing in the top of my brain. Now we're going back to the big saw for what might be, hopefully will be, my last two cuts with this, because after careful consideration, I need these 2 sheets of plywood. So let's do yet another 18-inch cut, just to simplify time and everything. Measure out 18 on here. That I decided I'm going to cheat this one up just a little bit. I know I probably shouldn't do that, but that's an old trick I learned from my high school shop teacher right before he said, "Ow, my thumb." Never knew what that meant. Never heard from him after the ambulance took him away. One of these days I'll figure it out. Alrighty, so now we got those cut. It is time to make this work. So what I'm going to do, yet again, I'll line this up. Get my clamp. I need to get used to using this clamp. I feel like I'm making this too much of a how-to video, not a come hang out with me, which is really what we want, is just come hang out with me. So let's get this lined up. There, looks good. Should probably invest in some new clamps, I don't know yet. Alrighty, after a few technical difficulties, I'm still trying to figure this out. I decided right there, about good enough. Gives me technical and measure. Inch and a half-ish. Inch and 3/4. After Bruce on the pros are going to be the ones to notice this. Going to get that done. One. Now let me ask y'all this, so y'all can talk amongst it in the comments section. Do you have random thoughts that just keep you up at night? Or how about this? How about a better one? Was last week the worst week to get any kind of sleep? I felt like I didn't sleep at all last week. I've heard other people talking about how last week felt the exact same way for them. Like they got no sleep at all. It was the hardest thing in the world. And it sucked. Which, don't get me wrong, not sleeping does suck. Been there, done that. Got that t-shirt. So I'm going to put this on there. If I can get to cooperate with me today. Alrighty, now we repeat the process on the other side. Technicalities equal technicalities. The way I see it, measure once, it should work. If you have to measure more than once, you didn't do it the first time. Measure twice, cut once. That's no way to do it. Time is money. There's one. Two. Because those I've done. I'm thinking one of these episodes here very soon. A, I'm gonna have a nice banner on my wall. But B, make a better spot to put my tools that I'm using. Or tools I want to show off. Let's face it. You can hang out in the garage with your friends. Sometimes you just like to show off your tools because you think they're the best things in the world. You know, people might have a difference of opinion on it. At the end of the day, that's okay. Because you're allowed to like exactly what you want. And you're allowed to not like what you want. There's certain bands I don't like. There's certain genres of music I don't like. Do I make fun of people for listening to them? Yeah, all day long. I will judge you every day of the week for what you listen to sometimes. But that's one of those strong friendships, being able to laugh about it and move past it. And now that that is on there, let's think about the next step of this project is what I'm looking for. I need to build a roof. What do you think? Good solid angle? Or should we try again? I mean, I does have an idea on how to make this work. Line it up there right about like that. At least that's not being able to see this. Let's come back to that. So I was hoping I was done with using my miter saw tonight, but it looks like it's got one more cut in it. So let's get my marker. Look at the roof. An inch overhang on each side. So I'm going to knock this down at 20 inches. I'm going to stack these two up again and call it a day. Just remember, we ain't aiming for pretty, we're aiming for done. Done as in I can go inside. Undo this. Carry this back over here. So I might have miscalculated just a hair on my last cut. And found out it doesn't fit the way I was planning on. That's okay, we adjust on the fly. We learn from our mistakes. And we move on with life. Back out. Oops. Nothing important back there. It'll clean up on its own. So now we're back into this. Looks like the angle from my roof should be somewhere about there. So now something happened. So bear with me for just a second. Alright, so she ain't gonna be the belle of no ball, but for now, that's as good as we're gonna get. I don't know why one of my neighbors decides to come in here at 80 miles an hour. But I do have another mounting idea for this. Give me one more second. Let me think about it. Alright, so I goofed up somewhere measuring this. So instead of scrapping it, like I could, we're going to improvise, adapt, and overcome. Or something. Let's see how long this piece is. So I had a genius idea. Can't find my marker, so I'll use my pen. Let's get this knocked down. Give me a second. some of the stuff I've just done. We're going to simplify this project. Because sometimes I try to over-engineer things. And we don't need that. Simplicity. And we need, more importantly, shit done. So I use those improvised 2x2s for something else. And now, we will get technical. So that's what some people want, is technical. So I'll measure this out. Do a little bit up here. And I'll mark it. Let's go a little bit higher up with that, shall we? Same thing on this one. Sometimes I have these visions in my head of how I want something to turn out. Doesn't quite turn out that way. So what we can do is improvise. All right, so I've made more marks. Let's clear some of this off so I can use this workbench the way I intended for it. Let's see, I've got. Let's bring it over here with me, shall we? So what I did was I took a mark and marked half of a 2x4, marked this 18-inch board in half. So now, for the sake of symmetry, there we go. And turn this way. You might be able to see it just a little bit better. So now that that's done, let's take a step back. Let's see how my roof lines up now. Should be almost, needs to be adjusted. Here's a better idea. So I was aiming for getting something done and rushing this. So now, I'm going to do this the right way. That's the way I should have done it. We're gonna see if we can't make something happen. There's also the thought of what if I just take this, throw it on there. I mean, I could get away with that. Doesn't look that bad, does it? Let's see. Yeah, that's not like the way that looks. Give me a second. Alright, so I do think we're going to have to visit this one again later. I get a few more tricks up my sleeves. For now, I'm going to make this. Maybe I should learn how to architecturally build a roof for these things. Because for now, this is what you get. Like I said before, I'm no professional, so if I try something, I've tried a couple times, and it doesn't work, what I'm going to do is figure out what I need to learn. So I can come back through and fix this the correct way. Put one more in here for good measure, shall we? So now the feeder part's done. Yay me! Let's finish this ugly bastard up. Alright, so now that's finished, we're in a hurry and try and get this done because I do have neighbors. I found these gutter screws. So I'll take a few of these. Eight of those, drop the sleeves. So I don't need those with what we're about to do with them. And then we're going to use them over here. First, I need to change my bit. If I can find my brand new bits. There they are. Not a square bit. A bunch of these. Over here, I have bits in other places. Alright, now that it's about to get to 1,000,000 degrees in here, let's finish this out. Side. They look kind of pretty at least. Now that we're done with that, easy, cheap way to straighten this whole thing out. turn you this way. 2 more to run. This one kind of up, because where the other 2 are, I don't want running into them. Run this one in there. All right, so now we see how we're looking here. This thing's starting to really look like a turd. So it does start to support the weight of the house and of everything else. So now it's time for a couple more screws, and it's starting to feel like a part 2 to this episode. Let's see how much more I feel like doing tonight. So it looks like there's going to be part 2 to this one. Give me a little bit of time to figure out what's going on with the roof, where I messed up, what's going on with my post, and in general, how to kind of tighten things up and make it look a little bit better. So with that being said, we're going to call this one a night, and I want to get ready to hit the bed. If you liked hanging out with me tonight, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, hit that bell notification so you can see when I upload my next video. So as for that, remember, stay dirty, stay stubborn, and I'll see you next time.